Right then, every single transfer window that comes around, there are new signings, and there are plenty of players that need to leave. This summer, United are in desperate need of reinforcements all over the pitch, but I would say particularly in two main areas, in attack and in defence. Handily, there seems to be players in both of those positions that need to be let go this summer as well. It seems like the board are probably going to be spending money regardless. I think because of the FFP regulations, no matter who comes in as our owners, there's probably a limit to what we can spend. And there's probably a limit to what we can raise as well in terms of the transfers that are going out. So I don't think we're going to have any sort of like juiced up footy manager cheat mode sort of transfer window. I think it'll probably look similar to what we had last window, where you might get 3 or 4 first-choice players, with a couple of those being a little bit on the spendy side. Now let's have a look at what defenders and attackers might be on their way out, and how much we might be able to get for them, and then maybe we can replace with them. So there's question marks over Lindelof, Maguire, and I would say Eric Bailly's future. And centre-half has probably become a bigger need in the summer due to the injury to Martinez. Eric Bailly is a strange one. He is a player at times who's looked class at times, and he's a player that's just looked like he is lost on his way to the pub at times. Every now and then he puts in a serious performance and you go, wow, he has got everything. And he plays with unbelievable passion and bravery, but he's too inconsistent. He has some horrendous concentration howlers. He lacks discipline, and there seems like there's always a mistake in him, and that's not the vibe that you want your centre-halves to exude. And even more problematic than discipline and concentration is his injury record. According to Transfermarkt, Eric Bailly suffered 16 injuries in his United career, and this season at Marseille, he's only played in 12 league games again. And some of that's because of injury, some of that's also because of trying to decapitate someone, but there's a lot of that is down to injury as well. He needs to go. Simple as that. At 28, you're not going to see better out of him than we've already seen. And of course, he's injury prone. You might get 10 mil for him, move him on. Harry Maguire. Now, I did a video not too long ago where I looked into why Harry Maguire needs to go. Go check that out if you've not seen it. But the gist of it is that he's just not good enough to play in this particular sort of system. He does have skills that will make him a valuable asset for clubs that are maybe looking to play off the back foot. So I think there's still people who will come in for him. A problem with Harry Maguire is that he's on about 190 grand a week. So it's a bonus to get him off the wage bill, but it's going to be tough to find a club that's going to come close to matching his ambitions with his wages. He doesn't have any pace. He steps out of his line. He isn't aware of what's going on with him, and his decision-making is questionable, to say the least. Whenever he plays, the spine of the United team is weaker. He is an England international, regular, whatever that means. And it probably means that someone will come in and buy him. I think he would probably look good for an Everton or a West Ham or someone of that sort of ilk. And I think if he goes to an English club, you're probably going to get 30, 40 million for him. I would replace both of those two players with Kim Min-jae. Current value for Kim Min-jae is around about 50 million euros. He's been one of the two centre-halves at the heart of Napoli's fabulous domestic and European campaigns this season. He's physically big. He's quite composed on and off the ball. He reads and intercepts and communicates really well. He's good in the air, but like I said, he's good on the ball. He's got an 89.6% pass completion rate. He wins 3.17 aerial duels per 90, 1 progressive carry per 90, and 1.15 shot creating actions per 90. He is a shot creating centre-half. He ranks in the top 10-15% for all the different stats out of the top 5 European leagues for centre-halves, and he is a serious defender. Coming from Serie A, he shouldn't cost too much, and he is a massive upgrade on Harry Maguire. Having to choose between him, Varane and Martinez just puts United's defence in a far better position, and it also means any sort of niggles with injuries, you get the night off because we've got options in there. And the funds from Bailly and Maguire probably just about pay for Kim Min-jae. Fullback. So there's a couple of fullbacks that I think are going to be on their way out the door this summer. And the first one's probably Alex Telles. He's currently on loan at Sevilla, and his United career never really got started. He had good spells last season for us, but he's in a position where if he did come back, he would be behind Shaw and Malacia for a spot in the starting 11. And it just makes sense for him to leave this summer. The loan move that he's had has been steady. He's featured 19 times in La Liga. He's played in all of Sevilla's group games, and he's only missed one Europa League fixture. He's got 3 assists in all comps, which is steady. Nothing to write home about. You're probably going to get 10, 15 million for him, I would have thought. Not a problem. Then you got Brandon Williams. It's a shame because Brandon, being an academy lad, shown a ton of promise, played with a lot of passion, and he had the odd spell under Oli where he looked genuinely good. Being versatile and able to play left and right back was also a massive asset for him. He had a decent loan spell with Norwich last season, but he's not kicked on. Doesn't seem like Ten Hag's having him. He's made 1 appearance all season. That was in the League Cup. Probably time to move on. Still got time to do stuff in his career. He's only 22 years of age. Could probably get 7 to 10 million for him, I would think. The replacement, it's a young man that's heavily linked with Manchester United at the moment, and that is Jeremy Frimpong. Now, Frimpong's attacking output is genuinely insane. He's in the top 90 percentiles for goals, assists, XG, shot creating actions, goal creating actions. Anything in an attacking sense you want to name, he's doing it. He's become one of the most promising youngsters in the sort of fullback space in the world. And the biggest standout quality is his dribbling is an absolute piss take. He's got amazing dribbling qualities. It allows him to keep the ball close to his feet at all times. He's very deceptive when he's up against defenders 1v1, and for the most part, he just stands up and dribbles past them. He's got a very low centre of gravity, can change direction very quickly, can change speed while he's dribbling very quickly, and that makes him very, very difficult to be able to time a challenge on him. And we've seen in the positions that he takes up and the way that he plays a little bit more like a right winger than a right back, it must be said. His pace comes into action, especially in the final third, and when he's looking to make a creative pass. He can also make very decisive recovery tackles when the opposition team is on a counter-attack. There are question marks over his defending, and ones that probably won't be answered until you see him in a United shirt. He is undoubtedly more offensive than he is defensive, but he'd probably be still someone that's still quite effective defensively. Forwards. Now, I think Anthony Martial's United career is probably going to come to an end, regardless of how well he ends the season. There are magnificent dribbling and finishing attributes, and he's shown on numerous times over the course of his career he can do those things. But those things don't stand out above the problems, which are inconsistency and fitness. He's had some bright spells. Let's not rewrite history and pretend that he's been awful the entire way through, because that's just not been the case. He's had plenty of spells at United where he looked like he could really go on and kick on and be something. But he's also had spells where on the pitch he's looked like a passenger, and then he's also too injury prone to be able to be relied upon. He's only scored 10 plus league goals in 3 of the 7 full seasons that he's had at United. And I just don't think he's consistent enough to be our number one, and probably not even our backup striker. He's missed more than 20% of games in a season 4 times. The best ability is availability, and he ain't available. He isn't a talented player, and I think someone might pay 20, maybe even 30 million for him if he finishes strong. How do you replace him? Rasmus Højlund. He's 20. He's got 14 goals and 6 assists in 35 games for Atalanta, and he's already notched up 5 goals in 4 games for his country as well. We've already covered him in depth on a video. If you want to go and check that one out, check it out in the description below. But he's got physicality, he's got pace, he's got dribbling, he can strike a ball, he is a poacher, he's got technicality, and he's also a very tenacious presser, something that I think Erik ten Hag would absolutely love. Højlund is a really young forward with multiple areas to improve. He's got a ton of exquisite qualities, even though he's very, very young in his professional career. And he's another one out of this Nordic pipeline, which seems to just be building players built for the Premier League. Every bit the striker that I think Ten Hag would love, and every bit the sort of price that Manchester United should pay. Let me know in the comments, do you agree with what I've just listed below? And the extra one that I would throw in as well, because we didn't really touch on midfield. I think there probably will be a bit of a shake-up in midfield, but I would prioritise making Sabitzer a permanent Manchester United player, because he is impressed and he seems like he gets it and he seems like he wants to be around, and that's big. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, 5-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.